you have to be ready to want to leave an abusive relationship. You know, your friends can tell you to leave, your cousin, like, you know, your girlfriends, but you have to make the choice. So
welcome to the Shan and Tam Show.
So, Shan Tam fam, we are still in lockdown, but we continue to push through. You know, COVID has impacted us in such negative ways, but also has been a blessing in disguise because Tam and I have been able to stretch ourselves and to do things that we never thought we were capable of doing. We've had the opportunity to speak to some amazing people during this series of being an overcomer. And now we're speaking with a very special guest who's joining us all the way from the US. Her name is Darline Chudoba. And Darline is going to speak to us about her story.
Yes, COVID has really brought us to new and different places in a lot of ways. But we're excited to speak with Darline today. She is a life coach, she is a businesswoman, and she is a mother. And she has certainly overcome many challenges in her life. And we are looking forward to hearing her story. So without further ado, Shan and Tam fam, let's get into it. So thank you again, Darline, for joining us today. We're so excited to be speaking with you. We know you're a very busy woman.
Yes, you are right about that. I am so glad I met you guys. I'm glad to be here to speak with you.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
We really appreciate it, and we know that it will be an informative discussion for our viewers. So we like to start by getting to know our guests a little bit. So can you please tell us and your viewers a little bit about yourself?
Well, I am from Haiti. I was born in Haiti, came here when I was 7 years old, and I just love the way, because it says in the Bible, the way God formed you, He already knows. So I feel as if God put so many things inside of me, and I just love helping others. I just love networking. I'm the type of person that if I get some information, I pass it on. So I'm that type of person. I have 3 children. They're teenagers now, and they're growing up really fast. We are on our own. I've been on my own with my kids for a very long time. So I'm just so excited to be here. I just know that this time together will help out, if not one person, I mean, at least one person, I should say. And it's just gonna be great. This is what I do. I love to teach as well. I teach online Haitian Creole and other classes. I'm also a coach, a goals coach. So I enjoy doing that, and just being there for others to uplift and empower, especially women. So yeah.
Absolutely. And that is one of our primary goals in terms of having started this platform, to be able to uplift others, to be able to connect with people in different ways, because
Right.
oftentimes we feel like we're going through our situations alone.
Yes.
And it's only through others' testimonies
Yes.
that we come to realize that we're not alone, and we can actually find the motivation sometimes to overcome the challenges we have in our own lives, right?
Exactly.
So we really do appreciate your courage and for sharing with us today. So you mentioned that you were born in Haiti.
Yes.
We wanted to know a little bit about your life in Haiti and the eventual transition to the US.
Well, my life in Haiti, from what I remember, because like I said, I came when I was 7, so I was really young. But I do remember some good things happening. Certain situations did occur in Haiti. I was left behind.
Oh,
It was the 3 of us in Haiti. My two older siblings, however, they came to this country, and I was left for probably like a month or two by not by myself. I still had my grandmother, my aunts, and people like that. But that experience was very traumatic for me, of being the only one left, of like my sister was like protective of me when I was younger in Haiti.
Okay.
So that, and then coming here, it was a transition. It was just difficult because the language, the fashion, and things
Yes.
like that was happening. I got teased, I got bullied,
Wow.
mostly because I was skinny, and they also bullied me about my eyes. So the way I work with my clients is that, in different classes, I've even created a bully class, a bully proof class
Mm.
online. So it's like, um, the more I thought about it, those people were jealous of the fact that I was skinny and they couldn't be skinny.
Mhm.
They come to find out, people love my eyes, but they loved it, but they were so jealous of the beauty, I guess. I don't know. Like, from
Right.
growing up, like, people were telling me these things after the fact,
Right.
but during it, I was depressed, I was sad, I was crying a lot,
Wow.
and it was a really hard time for many years, and then it slowed down, and then in middle school it started up again, like eighth grade, and it was just hard again. And I remember sixth grade, we had a class trip. We had to go like overnight for a week for camp, and
Mhm.
I really, really wanted to go, and I begged my parents. And I'm Haitian, so most Haitians, like, you don't you don't have two homes. You don't
Right.
have two homes. You
Mm.
got one
You
home,
don't
right?
sleep over. You don't sleep over anywhere.
No,
Mm.
no. So I had to beg my father. I begged him. I begged him. Finally, the day before we're supposed to move, to go to the camp, and he finally said yes. I quickly had him sign the paper, ran in the morning, dropped it off, and then I was off. And it was the worst week ever for me,
Mm.
because at least when I was getting teased, I would go home and the teasing would not be present there,
Yes.
right?
But you
But
had
in the
to stick
camp,
through it.
they were in the camp with me. They were in the
Mm.
cabin with me, and so it was just horrible. But
Wow.
I mean, I did learn how to fish. I learned different things like that, but it was just hard. It was just hard, that those times. So yeah, abuse, like abuse. What I wanted to say, abuse can happen in any type of relationship.
Mhm.
It could be a friendship, it can be family, it could be your boss, it could be a coworker. Abuse does happen in different ways, and I've dealt with a few different kinds.
Wow.
Yeah,
Just listening to your story and everything, Darlene, it seems as if you've been through a lot.
I've been through a lot.
Yes, and Tam and I have spoken to so many different people with their experiences with immigration, and the transition part is always so hard, right?
Mhm.
But we can
Yes.
see that you have overcome, and you are truly an overcomer. We just want to commend you for that,
Oh, thank you.
right? And in the midst of everything that you were saying, the thought that came was beauty for ashes. Tam and
Mm.
I recently did a blog post on beauty for ashes, where we spoke about some of the ashes that we experience in our lives and the beauty that came out of that. Can you
Mhm.
speak a little bit on some of the ashes that you went through as you spoke about the abuse? Can you speak a little bit
Right.
about that?
So here I am, in a family where they provided for me. However, I never heard the word "I love you." I
Mm.
never had, "I'm proud of you, daughter," or anything like that. Continued to do well in my school, went to church, and then graduated from college and all that. Then I ended up coming back to the town where I went to college, met my now ex-husband,
Mhm.
and we were friends. I never knew. I was so gullible. I was so gullible. Never knew that he liked me, like he had feelings for me or anything. I'm just like la la la, good old Darlene,
Mm.
but he moved to North Carolina, and then I come to find out that he did like me, but since he was moving, he didn't want to start something. So long story short, we did end up together, and I moved to North Carolina from New Jersey to be with him, despite many people that told me not to do it, but
Mm,
I did do it.
Mm.
And the person that I was back then, not the person that I am now, the person that I was back then was really like didn't want to hear that I told you so or be ashamed if I
Yeah.
packed my things and came back to New Jersey. So
mm,
even when he started showing me his true colors with verbally abusing me, I stayed. I stayed. We got married. I had my first son. Um, then things didn't work out in North Carolina, so we came back to New Jersey. So things did not get better. I left him during the six to 7 years of us being the 7 year of us being together. I left him a couple times and came back. But the third time that I said that was it was when my son, I was getting him ready to go outside. I'm like, you have to go outside. You can't stay inside just watching TV all day. Let's
mm,
go out in the back and just, play and stuff. So
Mm.
at that time, I already had my other two children too. So I had three kids, two boys and a girl, and the girl was in the middle. And so I was like, we're going outside. I'm putting his shoes on. And he slapped me. He didn't slap me hard, but he slapped me in the face and said, no. I was like, oh no, that was it for me. Because all the other times, like I said, I left and it was just more people telling me I should leave, that it doesn't sound right, that he does this to you. I've heard him done that. I mean, there's been times when my family, like my brother, one of my brothers was coming to visit and he was like cursing me out and saying all this type of stuff to me. And my at that time, my ex-husband verbally, that's what he did, cursing me out. And he would corner me, like, because I was scared of him. He was taller
Right.
than me. I was very petite. So it was just like a fearful thing. And then it came to the point where when it was time for him to come home, like when I hear him in the door, it was like kind of like a very
fear.
scared type feeling.
Mhm.
Yeah. So with that happening, it was just like, wow, what did I get myself into? But I finally, like I said, you have to be ready to want to leave an abusive relationship.
Yes.
Your friends can tell you to leave, your cousin, like, your girlfriends, but you have to make the choice. So when I made the choice to leave and I said, that's it. And financially, I was not stable. And that's why I stayed, because I was a stay-at-home mom for a
Yeah.
very long time. And he was a breadwinner. And he abused me about that too. He was like, oh, you have these degrees and you haven't done anything about it. And then the next minute, oh, you can't go to work, you can't do anything, you got to stay home with the kids. So it was like kind of like limbo, like
Yeah.
what do you want from
Right.
me? Yeah,
Messages.
Yeah,
yeah.
mixed messages. Yeah.
hmm
Mm.
So the abuse went on, and then it turned physical. When I started telling him, look, if we want to work this out, I think you need some anger management. And I did some research and I'm like, oh, and then he started cursing me out. F you, you this, you that. I don't need no help and nothing's wrong with me. And if you don't want to be part of this team, like everything's always, if you don't want to be part of this team, you can leave. And I don't have anywhere to go. I didn't have anywhere to really go. Yes, I had family, but my family's a different matter for a different show. but I did finally leave him completely. Stayed with family, my sister, and then I went to my mom, stayed with my parents for like 9, 10 years. I'm telling you, the first few years of leaving my ex-husband, for real, it was difficult. It was
Oh,
difficult emotionally, mentally, because I was tired. I was drained. I was depressed. I was crying almost every day. And at the mistake that I made. And then I had to pull myself up and said, in all of the ashes, in all of the different problems and situations that I had put into myself for the last 7 years, three beautiful little people have been brought out of this, and it was my three children, and I had to live for them. It was hard. I had to pull myself up every single day. There's some days when I didn't want to get out of bed, but I had to try to push myself to do so and continue. And I started working. Then I started with my own business, and now I'm doing really great financially. We are in our own apartment. And it's a house, it's a two-family house, and we're in one floor. And it's like it's been amazing. It's so peaceful, and happiness, because we all have our own space. I have my own office.
Right.
It's just been, if you would have talked to me back in, like, maybe 15 years ago, and say I would be where I am now, I would not. I don't know if I would believe you, basically. I don't know.
Yes.
Because it's been a long road.
Wow.
Yeah.
But you know what, Darline? You had to have gone through your tests to have your testimony,
Exactly.
right? And your experiences were not by chance. God saw that you were going through that, and you started by saying that God formed you for a reason.
That's
So
right.
you have to have gone through the things that you went through and experienced those ashes to have those beauty.
That's
And
right.
it takes a strong person to walk away from an abusive situation.
It
So
does.
again, we applaud you for that, because when you look at the statistics, when women leave abusive relationships, they usually return.
Yeah.
Right? So it really takes that courage and that strength. When you walk away, you stay away because
That's
of
right.
that cycle of abuse. So good for you for all that you've
Thank you.
done.
And what I've learned is that my struggles, my pain, my trauma is not for me. It is not for me. My story is not for me. It's to help the next woman that
Yes.
is dealing with situations like that. It's to be like a stronghold for them, like to keep them up and keep them motivated, keep them moving. So my story is, as bad as it was, it's not for me. It's
Yes.
I went through it so I can help others that need that strength to keep on going, that they can do it, because they look at me as an example that I went through it, and I'm still here. I'm still striving. So
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Thank you, Darlene. So
okay, you're
I
welcome.
know you mentioned when you spoke about your family being some of a support for you. What other supports did you have when you were going through the abusive situation with your ex-husband?
I did have some good close friends from church. They really were there to talk to me, to
Mhm.
guide me. So it was really, really good and needed. The other thing that helped me was a web a 800 number that I used to call peer line.
Okay.
Peer line has been such a wonderful thing for me. Whenever I'm going through something, I would call them, and they would have good advice. They would even link me to different programs that's out in my area, near my area. So peer line was really great. So it's family, some family and friends, and peer line. So
Okay.
those were the things that really kept me going.
Okay. That's good.
Now, you mentioned that, there were some days that you didn't even want to get out of bed. And
Mm.
you mentioned depression. Can you tell us how you navigated that? Can you talk to us a little bit more about that?
Well, I've gotten a lot better with this section of being depressed, because I have a routine now, and that's the best thing to beat depression, is to have a routine. That's one of the best things. And I wake up with prayer of gratitude,
Mhm.
thanking God for waking me up in my right mind, like the older people would say, and thanking Him for what He has done for me and my children, asking Him to, like Joyce Meyer would say, something good is going to happen to me today. Something good is going to happen through me today. So
Yeah.
I said those two quotes.
Yeah.
And then I say, that's from Joyce Meyer. And then I say, good morning, Lord. Let me learn to love you a little bit more today. Let me serve you a little bit better today. So
Mm.
I'll do that.
Wow.
Then I would move on to a more listening to on YouTube a morning prayer. So I do that. And then throughout the day, like twice a day, 2, 3 times a day, I do motivational speeches from like Les Brown, or Lisa Nichols, or Will Smith, like different people. Michael, Evan Michael, I believe is his name, the one that does the different quotes from different speakers and different famous people. I listen to him. So I have different people that I listen to throughout the day. I also have a income affirmations that I do. I listen to it twice a day, one in the morning and one in the evening before I go to sleep. So I'm like, basically I surround myself with motivational
Right.
things, so that I can keep pushing and keep going. Because if I find, for me, if I don't have anything to motivate me, and of course I connect with my mentor, Dr. Andrews, I connect with my good friend Tamara Wilson. So I connect with these people
Right.
that really are like pillars for me to keep me strong, keep me going. So if I'm not feeling well, if things are if I'm come to a state where I don't feel like getting up again, which has not happened in a very long time, so I'll
Right.
gladly say that.
Yes.
um but I just continue doing the same thing over a routine of, putting my steps, one step at a time, getting up and doing what I have to do for myself and my 3 children. So yeah.
Yeah, it sounds, surrounding yourself with
Mhm.
positive things, positive people.
Ah, surround yourself with good people, people
Yes,
that are good for you, good
yes,
to you, and good for your soul.
yes.
Yes.
Unknown.
Very important.
Yes,
Yes.
it is.
And we've come to realize that over, through our own journey by talking, interacting with people, books that we've read. And it's something that we've also come to affirm daily that, as difficult as it is sometimes for you to let some people go who are a part of your life, it is
Necessary.
absolutely necessary because you need to
Yes.
get to another place,
Yes.
another space that is higher than where you are.
That's right.
And that takes a lot of strength sometimes too, to let those sort of
Hmm.
relationships go and
Mhm.
influences.
Yes.
So, one of the things I'm curious about, though, I mean, you sound, you've talked about how motivated you are and the people that you have in your life to keep you going, to
Yeah.
help keep you going. Um, but I can imagine that the pain of your past has sort of shaped you into who you are right now and what you're doing. So how do you feel that that pain and that past and those ashes have shaped your purpose in life and what you're doing right now?
It, all right. The thing is, I feel as if I had to go through all those pain and traumas for
Right.
me to be doing what I'm doing now.
Mhm.
Yes.
Um, because I'm helping people who is in the same situation that I was once in. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. Yep.
My business is called A.C.T Consultants, and A.C.T Consultants is A.C.T, and it stands for accept your past. A for accept your past, C for connect with others,
Mm,
and T for transform your life. Right?
wow.
When I
Amazing.
say accept your past,
Yes.
I don't mean that it was good. I
Mhm.
don't mean that what happened to you didn't matter. The person, what the person did or said to you, that it's okay. No, when I say accept your past, the way I'm serving it with my clients, the way I'm helping them is the fact that you cannot hold on to all the past hurts and the pain and the suffering, the trauma, and as a life sentence for you for the rest of your life. You cannot continue living your life chained to the person you once were, because that's what it was. The person I was many years ago, I'm not that person anymore. The person I was many years ago made decisions from the viewpoint of the person that I was at the time. You know what I mean? So I teach others not to focus on their past so much, to just learn from it and grow from it and keep on moving. The C is connect with others. And the reason why it's connect with others is because you cannot live this life on your own. You have to have support, and you have to have good support, like what we just said about the type of people to surround yourself with. You know, not every support is going to be there with you from the beginning to the end. I had to learn that this year, because I'm at a point of my life where I am there. The people that were with me through the last 12, 13 years, some of them have fallen off. I had to create a new tribe of connections and support. So connection is very important to keep you going, to keep you strong. Now, T for transform your life. Working with me, I help women, especially women. I do have some men that I worked with, but my most important target has been women like me, women that I can understand, that can understand me, because we've been through similar things. So transform your life is you work real hard, focus on your goals and your dreams, and you get from point A to point D, wherever you want to go. So that's what I decided to do with what has happened to me. And then the thing is, as soon as I started walking in my purpose, God just kept bringing different people surrounding me that can, like you two ladies, you know what I'm saying? That can elevate. You can to elevate more women, to empower more women. I keep coming into contact with women that have been either in abusive relationships, you know, or family, like abusing family, just different things like that I have experienced. And God is just keep opening up different doors. So then my business is growing. I'm helping more people. In fact, I would like to help at least 500 people by 2025. That's my goal. I really want to, because especially with the corona, the COVID happening, a lot of women are in situations where they cannot leave the house. So then they're getting abuse verbally, mentally, emotionally, financially, all of that, and they're dealing with that on their own. So I'm trying to find ways in order to tap into their life, so that if they hear my story, if they hear where I've been and where I am now, that they can say to themselves, if I can do it, that they can do it as well.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Amazing, Darline. Amazing. Purpose is all over you.
Yes.
So Shan and Tam fam, I know that you have been filled by hearing Darline's story. You know, she's truly an overcomer, and like, I don't know about you, but Tam and I were so blessed to hear everything that she had to say. And we look forward to joining you again next time, where we continue to hear more on her journey and how she has been able to get beauty from her ashes.
And before we go, fam, remember, subscribe to the channel, like the videos, and share it with someone. We know that as much as you're blessed, someone else is out there that needs to hear this story as well. Until next time, we'll see you.
Thanks for watching the show today, Shan and Tam fam.
Ensure you hit the subscribe button, like, and share this video.
Send the link to a friend in WhatsApp, Facebook, or even Instagram, fam. And of course, don't miss when we post a new video, so hit that notifications button.
Yes. Also, check out the details box for this video for all the links for Shan and Tam's social media and blog.